Hello, welcome. I'm Chris. I'm in charge of the development team here at Insight Workforce Solutions. We're really pleased to be able to show you our concept for the Sumitomo contract management system, especially as bespoke business empowering software is really our forte. What you're about to see are a few screens that suggest how we could approach the contract management system. The caveat here is that we've based this on a few initial discussions and we've used a lot of best guesses. In reality, we'd work closely with you to ensure you get exactly what you need. Our solutions are designed to work either in the cloud or on premise, although we can better support you and continue to develop this software if we host it in the cloud. Okay, let's jump to it. I'm just going to flip to a PowerPoint presentation here. The important thing to note here is that the system is roles based, so management are able to access and interact with the system fully. Analysts might just be able to jump in and view logs, etc. And super admins can configure the entire system. So we keep all that kind of stuff away from everyone else. We can undertake that for you or train members of your own staff. Go back here to the dashboard. So before I start, I just wanted to explain that we thought this system should be more than just a management tool for contracts. We wanted it to be a collaborative workspace for all employees linked to these contracts, an area they can interact, discuss, create, and complete actions and activities. So we will see some of these features as we go through it. As you can see, it's a nice, fresh, modern dashboard designed to give the users very visual, instant access to important high-level information. Along the top here, you can see we have a date range where we can alter what's shown in these reports by that date range. Underneath, we have our interpretation of contract statuses. So, proposed, in review, awarded, suspended, terminated, or at risk, which is obviously an important one. On the left here, top contracts by country. We're going to make these clickable so you can drill down and see how many contracts you've got going on at any particular country. We've got a kind of a top list here. But underneath all of these portlets, you'll be able to get to the full report. So that will give you a full listing, and then you could drill down into that data. Over on the right here, we've introduced the notion of interventions. So these are actions that are linked to high-risk situations. They're the kind of activity you really want to be aware of. So if, like many, you're working on the basis of management by exception, this kind of thing will show you where those exceptions are and allow you to take positive action. Underneath these, we have some examples of the kind of data you may wish to pull into this dashboard, including audit statuses, system activity here. It's always nice to know that your users are interacting with the system and you get a full idea here of all those interactions, what they are. And over here, the type of devices that the users are accessing the system through, which gives me an opportunity to show you how this system works across devices. It's designed to be completely responsive and look pretty epic on any device. So here is a view of a mobile. Ignore this stuff over to the right. And as you can see, all the pages will kind of collapse into this really friendly view, meaning you can access all this stuff on the go. Just turn it off. Just going to flip over here to the notice board. Now, the chances are that this will be the first page that everyone will see when they access the system. It's an area that should be kept continually updated, and it contains small snippets of information you want everyone to be aware of. Within these snippets of information are links to full stories, documents, or contracts relating to that news item. Okay. So I'm going to go over to the profile page now, because it's great to see an overview of this news and the contracts. But of course, as users, we really want to see the world from our own perspective. So that's what's really relevant to us. So if I click on Emily, I'll move into her profile. Now, immediately we can see here that Emily has a load of outstanding actions, and many have been completed. You see we're overloading Emily, although her performance is fantastic. So she's definitely interacting with the system and getting those tasks done. On the left here is profile information. This is the kind of information that others will see when they interact with the system, and if they look at anyone who's posted an action and want to know how to contact that person. We spoke about this being a collaborative workspace here. So on the left, You can see teams, which can be either logical or conceptual, that ML is part of, and underneath those teams, discussions of members within the teams relating to the contracts. So it allows you to jump into those discussions, see what's being said, keep the whole place nice and collaborative. Over on the right, those contracts that Emily is part of, showing you the name, the risk mode, any actions that have to be applied at the moment, and obviously any alerts that need activity. And you can drill into those contracts by clicking on view. Very importantly, underneath here, actions versus completed and delayed. So you can see here those which are done, but obviously these ones that have been overdue need some kind of intervention, some look at those. Below that, user activity. So everything in the system here is logged. This is Emily's own activity, but of course, you can come into this from an audit perspective and look at all activities across all contracts for all people. So it's quite an important feature, something that's really critical for a management system like this. Let's move on to the contracts themselves. So here's a contract listing. You might want to put a search up here across your contracts. I understand you have many contracts. At the moment, we've just placed a filter here along with the date range, and that filter allows us to filter on any kind of aspect within this table. So we might be looking at the VAM projects or anything at risk, and the table will instantly filter everything else, but just give us those information relating to that. If we have a look at the contract landing page itself, it will show us all that information relating to that contract. Again, it's another kind of dashboard page, and it's designed to use as a springboard to jump into more information in there. So have a quick look at here so we can see interventions completed, activities. Quite interested over here, the upcoming events that we've got coming. So, it's nice to see what's happening in the future. Any contract discussions, again, relating to this particular contract. Any interventions. We spoke earlier about managing by exception and this notion of interventions being critical to making sure that the project runs smoothly. So these could be an example of where you pull through those interventions and then you can jump into that full information about each one. Similar aspect there for the recent actions that have been assigned against this contract, and again, contract activity at the bottom here. Go back to the contracts. Just over here, you'll see a collection of icons, and these allow us to move forward to the next stage. So we can view the contracts we just have, look at the interventions as a list, view the files, which we can have a look at now. Every contract has the ability to upload and store files and to categorize those files into folders. Any kind of file will be supported. Here we've got a zip, document, and here are the folders here. You would simply drag and drop them onto that upload component, and that would pop them in there for you. Actions, events. So the events could be calendar-based, quite an interesting way of looking at it, or again as lists. But whatever you choose, you'll be able to see what's coming up, pop those events in there. Other aspects of the organization can see those, teams can interact with them, and so on and so forth. Over here, activity, the activity list. I haven't put this in at the moment, but this idea of discussions and keeping it collaborative, that would take you into kind of like a discussion forum stroke chat scenario where you can interact with fellow team members. You move up here to the reports. The system will support any number of standard reports that we'll work with you to understand and develop, and these will be accessible by, at the moment, choosing a region and a contract, but any kind of attribute relating to that report can be pulled into here. We've also got a date range as well. But any kind of aspect can be pulled into these reports to make them searchable. You can download each one of these reports as a PDF or as a data download, which could be any kind of data, CSV, Excel, even JSON format that developers might want to use, etc. You can see when it was last run and who has run the report. At the top here as well, we've got this notion of support desk. So the idea here is that we can offer you support around the system technically or with features. There'll be a ticketing system that allows you to put those support tickets in. We'll give you a number, and then you'll be able to track that support against that number. So again, everything's in the system. And what a lot of modern systems like to do is have community support as well. Because if it's something around how you're using the system or how to get data out, then it's very likely that members of your own organization are really capable of answering those questions, probably better than us, because it's to do with how you work as well. So that's pretty much the prototype, the clickable prototype of what we've got for you. Really hope that we can take this further, and looking forward to your comments. Thanks very much.